What's good, everybody out there on YouTube? This is your man, Shattuck Stick, dropping some hot Faraga on this mic, and I kind of wanted to talk about Square Enix, because I believe this could be simultaneously one of the worst and best years for the company, specifically for its fans. Now, I actually just recently beat Crisis Core Reunion a few weeks ago, more so at the beginning of this month. I wrote this video, I think, towards the end of December and the beginning of January, so I am a little late. But looking back at 2022, Square Enix had a lineup of games that really just were interesting. But one thing has kind of been looming over the company, and that's its more fiscally driven moves. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were a ton of great games from Square Enix last year. Harvestella, Valkyrie Elysium, Crisis Core Reunion, the Nier Switch port, Live Alive, but really mostly just ports and remasters of games like the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers, and the previously stated Switch port of Nier Automata, or Nier Automata, whichever one, it don't really matter to me. And don't get me wrong, I am actually excited for a lot of the stuff Square may or may not have coming out this year, considering, I'm a Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts fan. Final Fantasy Theatrhythm Barline comes out this year, alongside Octopath 2, Final Fantasy 16, and, just the hints that we may get, some news for games like Kingdom Hearts 4 or Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, and news of Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which is slated for next winter, which means it could release as late as early 2024. And for Dragon Quest fans, I can imagine they're excited considering Dragon Quest XI has done gangbusters overseas, and the Dragon Quest brand has been building with games like Builders and Treasures, so DQ12 news is probably imminent. But despite this stacked lineup of games, many are kind of locked to the PlayStation and Nintendo ecosystems, which I'm still not fond of. I know there's plenty of people on things like PC and Xbox who really just want to play Square games, but sadly have no access to them because Square gets in these agreements with Sony and Nintendo to release them exclusively on their platform. On top of this, I'm really worried because Forspoken is looking like it's not going to be the hit that it was looking like it was going to be when it was first announced. And don't get me wrong, I was extremely excited for it. Then I played the demo and uninstalled it like 10-15 minutes later, mostly because I was just severely disappointed. I've heard they've updated the demo, and there are some reviews trickling out at the moment. Again, I'm recording this on like the 23rd. This video was written way at the beginning of the month, but it just looks like it's a game I'm gonna have to pick up on sale rather than picking up for $70 and feeling like I got burned. On top of that, Marvel's Avengers just ended, development. And while Crystal Dynamics is no longer a part of Square Enix, I feel like a lot of the decisions with that game, specifically how they turned it into a live service, had all these microtransactions, and how seemingly half of the updates were basically made to keep people on the game, were really Square Enix decisions. And I think this is because Square wants a live service like EA has, or like Activision has, or like Epic Games has. And considering the fact that they're very much looking into blockchain and NFTs, if I were a Square Enix fan, I'd be worried. Square Enix is brushing off criticism of this, saying, hey, people just don't understand the tech, but ultimately, when you look at it, it adds little to no value in games. I mean, again, Square is looking for another cash cow, but they have Final Fantasy XIV, which, as far as I know, is basically the biggest MMO on the planet right now. And all of their big hitters outside of that are single-player games. Just keep creating high-quality AAA single-player experiences. Not even all of them have to be, these AAA experiences. Some of them can be AA, budget, even indie title. No one would be upset with that. It's just the fact that it feels like Square Enix wants to milk as much as they can out of their fan base in some of the dumbest ways possible. Like, one of the biggest examples I can think of off of the top of my head is a Final Fantasy VII, the First Soldier Battle Royale game. It actually was a solid Battle Royale, but it was mobile exclusive because mobile is the biggest market right now as far as people who are willing to pay money on microtransactions and getting people to just download your game. Everybody has a cell phone. So even if the game may not run well on your cell phone, you can get it on there and you can try it. And if you like it, maybe you get another phone for the sake of playing that game. Maybe you don't. Mobile gamers aren't as dedicated as, their console and PC counterparts in that regard. But on the other hand, they're willing to drop money on a free-to-play game much faster than their console and PC counterparts. That game could have easily come to console and or PC and people would have been happy with it, I believe. It was a very unique take on the Battle Royale genre. I'm just really worried considering they're going deeper down this hole of trying to milk money from their fans. Again, the blockchain and NFT stuff doesn't make sense. Most of their biggest hitters are, single player AAA titles, and people honestly don't really care that much about the concept of making money off of the games. They just want them to have fun. Most of the people, especially adults who are buying games, aren't thinking about, oh, how can I make money off of this game? They're thinking about, how can I, take a break from my job? And I may be speaking for myself, but I just think it's kind of ridiculous that they're trying to force this technology into games and it's not going to make them any better. Many talk about the ability to move items and stuff from game to game or to trade items and create a marketplace, but Valve figured that out years ago. They've been doing that with games like Team Fortress 2, Dota, and CSGO without the use of blockchain and NFT technology. And when I earn something in one game, I don't necessarily care about it being usable in another game. That's cool, but at the end of the day, I really don't care. I think Square Enix could possibly have one of the greatest years ever, but they're messing that up by having these live service and blockchain and NFT endeavors that I think is plaguing much of the gaming industry. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a video shouting doom and gloom from the top of the mountains. I'm just saying, as a fan who's consumed a ton of Square Enix games and a ton of products from them, from both their best and their worst, I don't really like the mentality, at least, that the company is having or the direction they're heading toward in some way. Again, we're about to get a banger with Final Fantasy 16, but you want to create blockchain and NFT-based games? Come on. But anyways, tell me how you feel about this in that comment section down below. If you want more content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It helps a ton. And also follow your boy on Twitter to stay updated for when I upload or just general things about the channel, or sometimes just when I like to talk about video games or, praise them or crap on them. Sometimes I make funny tweets. Just follow. Also join the Discord to also stay updated with things. Sometimes I update people in there on what's happening with the channel and what my next video ideas are. But this has been your man Hastags. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Maybe drop a super thanks down there to help the channel financially. We're out of here. Peace. Have a good one.